Hello, good morning. I hope you are well on this Thursday already. This week is just flying by. Good morning, good morning. We got a lot of news to cover today, but first, just gonna relax, wake up, have some coffee, and fly through outer space. Take a look at this place they call Earth. Got some new followers overnight. David Tovarish. Thank you so much. Oh, there we go. It's getting a little dark on Earth for a second there. got a little wonky there for a moment on the space station. Hey, good morning. I hope you are well. Thanks for being the first chatter of the day. It's been a little quiet here on Earth. Oh, hey, good morning, Rupert. How are you? It's crazy to me that we have this beautiful footage of Earth, and then we still just worry about our silly earthling problems. Hey, good morning, Antifer. I hope you are well. Having a quiet start to Thursday. We're almost at the end of this week. Happy almost Friday, yeah. For real. Hey, good morning, Purple Mavis. I hope you're having a fantastic morning so far. Plenty of black coffee injected right into your soul. Not yet? Any moment now then. Yo. Good morning, Augustus. I hope you are well. Welcome in. Enjoy a sloth beer on me, buddy. dark out there on Earth sometimes. Yo, just starting work, but you'll be chilling here listening. Exclamation mark. Work. I hope you have a wonderful day at work, Mr. Clancy.
That means I can lie here and relax while my strength comes back to me.
Holy crap, Pixels. Subscribed at a tier 1. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. I think you might be our first ever subscriber from Thailand, but possibly just even outside of Canada. So I really appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out, homie. Would have done more, but I'm poor. Yo, we're all poor. So I appreciate you subscribing. That's really nice, you know. May the algorithm bless you. And may you find many Nintendo products at very affordable prices in the thrift shops of Thailand. Hey, Captain Cold, what's up? You're back? Where did you go? Remember we were talking about sex workers. That was a long time ago, right? I don't know. We talk about a lot of things. Are you the person who said something weird about the Star of David? Was that you? Cause that was kind of sus. Kind of sus. All right. The government might be watching. The government is absolutely watching. Here we go. Yeah, mods, get ready. Everybody hover over the ban button. Jeez, all right, well, ask it already. Found a Game Boy Advance SP and sold it, bought an SFC, and used the space money to subscribe. Are you for real? That's so sick. Thank you so much, Pixels. What's a SFC? That's honestly so cool. You're like a Nintendo flipper, man. Oh, the spare money. Oh, okay. I thought it was space money. I thought you sold it like on the international intergalactic black market. You got some woolongs for that. Oh, Super Famicom. True. Yeah. I just never see it abbreviated. You got a Super Famicom? Send a picture. The dark hole web. The black hole web. The black hole market. That sounds weird. Intergalactic trading, that's right. Alright, well, I'm wishing you many, many months of fortunate Nintendo transactions. I wish I had a Super Famicom. Yes, please do. I legit want to see pictures. We do have a tab for games, so just share it there. Because I'm sure there's plenty of gaming nerds in our community, myself included. I would love to have a Super Famicom. I mean, I have a Super Nintendo like right there. But getting the original ugly ass Japanese version with the red and gray. SNES is better, but more expensive, would have drained all your budget. True. Well, you are in Thailand, Did Thailand have Super Famicom or SNES? Because I feel like they probably had the Japanese version, right? The Asian version. What happened to Captain Cold? Where I thought there was a question. I'm a little disappointed. I love how like standard it is now. For like like, all right, here we go. I ban for being sus. No, let them watch ads, okay? Let them lurk and watch ads. You get a goofy star. I know. I need to fix it so it's like something channel related. None originally, but Japanese ones are more common. Could get one for around $20. Oh my god, that's so cheap. You know how expensive those would be in the thrift shops over here? You don't know what subscribing does? Well, for one thing, it gives me money. For another thing, you don't have to watch ads. And you also get to access all of these emotes of references that you probably don't even understand. References that make no sense in Thailand. They barely make sense anywhere outside of Ontario. But you know, there are some good ones in there. There you go. Could you put the red panda as the sub icon? I could, yeah. Even just as a temporary thing. What if I bring shit loads of consoles from Thailand to Canada and sell them for 400% profit? Now you're thinking, Pixels. We should start a whole I don't know, black market. Yeah, let's see if I can do this. Viewer rewards. Channel points. Emotes. I have 2 animated emote slots that I'm not using. That's kind of sad. But that means I need to make some animated emotes. Literally on eBay, DS lights are $120. In Thailand, $10. Nobody buys them? Bro, can you just make those connections? Okay, where do I fix this? Community. Settings. Give chat badges to your subs. Okay, let's see what we got. Emojis. I swear you saw this guy in your dreams? What? You need to, that's some more of a nightmare in Canada. Okay, Photoshop time. It's Photoshop time. Because we are making things for the channel. Let's see. What am I looking for? Social media. That's not it. Here we go. I saw with you playing crossword or something yesterday. Could we do it again today? Yeah, for sure. We do the crossword every day. Cause I make crosswords. That's my thing that I do. So let's see. I just want this little dude right here. Merge layers, copy. Make sure we undo that. We don't want to save it like that. Okay. We might need to set a reminder for crosswords. Why would I set a reminder when I have chat to remind me? My homie Tutaro versus viewer chess tournaments? Bro, come on. Oh, that's what you meant, chat. I'm not like horrible at chess, but I'm not good really either. I'm good at like I'm good against someone else who like doesn't play chess. But if I'm to play like somebody who like knows what they're doing, I'm gonna get demolished. Yo, it's my homie Tutaro. I'm making so many typos today, my messages might be a bit weird today. No worries. You know what? You're a subscriber now, Pixels. You can do whatever you want. Alright? Typo it up. Okay. See, this is the best I can get because my wife is very busy. So if I ask her to make this stuff, she'll be like, no, I don't have time. But then I can like do my best to like steal her work. I'm gonna make this the icon for the subscribers. Yeah. So that way you don't have to just have like the default. We'll see if it works in a moment. It's just like a little chibi. A chibi Totoro. One thing I want to do, okay, if I ever become a big streamer, I'll tell you my plans, okay? You know how there's all of the like Pepe emotes? There's like all of these. You know? These are like pretty standard emotes on Twitch, right? What I want to do is do there's like Chibi Totoro, who's like the baby, and then there's adult grown ass Totoro, which is like me. But I want to turn these Pepes. I'll do like a version of the Pepes that is like all of this medium-sized Totoro. Except it'll be like this, except medium-sized Totoro. I think that would be so cute and really funny. Oops. So much confidence in my strokes. That's not a good one though. You think I will, Pixels? You think I'm gonna do it? I'm working pretty hard on it, so I hope so. We're up to 276 subscribers. It feels like just last week on YouTube I was hitting 250 subscribers, and now I got like 276. I'm like, wow, I'm getting quite a few new subscribers like every day. Okay. The Totoro brain leech. All of this, whatever, you're not gonna be able to see that. It's too small. Let me just make this as big as possible. Center. I think that's good enough. The icon is going to be small. Yeah, I know. I'm just a bit of a perfectionist. Okay, so then to do this, I need a couple different versions. So export. And we need one to be, okay, well, this needs to be PNG, transparent. We need one to be 72 by 72. So that small. Exporto. All right, don't look at my files, bro. Those are my files. Let's see. We'll put these under emojis. Start a new folder. We'll call this Brain Toro. Chibi Leech 72, we'll call it. Okay, and we need another version. I guess Twitch needs just all these damn sizes. It's 36 by 36. We're doing this just for you, Pixels, alright? This is a special request because you subscribed all the way from Thailand. 18 by 18. Oh my god, that's like micro tiny. Okay, now we gotta upload these. Little one. Medium one. Big one. Okay. Oh no, what? God damn it, Twitch. I hate you. I lost all my work because Twitch is trash. Upload. I do own the rights to these images. Kind of. Okay, so now if you refresh, we might see it in chat. Boom. They're really small. They're too small. God damn it. Doesn't look good. It doesn't look right. What do we need? We might just need a circle. You still don't see it? Okay, I can see it. It's too small though. You can't tell what it is. It's kind of silly. Let's see. What if we got pink? Edit, fill. Drop shadow. Whoa, 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 whoa. Chill, dog. I feel like I'm just in a creative mood today. Like I don't want to do the news. I just want to talk. I just want to make something creative. Let's see though. Let's see. Can make this better. We gotta make this better. We gotta make this better. Select inverse. But before we do that, let's duplicate. Okay, select, deselect, copy, paste. Copy, paste. Ah, copy. Why? Just let me do it. Oh, there we go. Select. Inverse. Delete. Huh? Why doesn't it let me delete? Delete. What? What is going on here? Delete. Oh, there we go. Is it still cold in Canada? Yeah. It's getting nicer though. We had a nice day like yesterday. Oh, sorry, the day before. And then the thing that happens in Canada is that they give you all this hope as if the weather is going to be nice. And then they take it away. Oops. What did I do? Okay, let's do this again. Select, inverse, delete. Why does it look cut off? Shouldn't be like that. It's because the circle was cut off in the first place, damn it. Whatever, good enough. It's gonna be a little circle, no one's gonna notice. It's burning here. Next month's probably the highest this year. Oh my goodness, yeah. I don't do well in the heat, so I can't say I'm jealous. Yo, shout out to my chibis. Nice, you're on the train. You're on the train, Pixels. Okay, let's try this again. Maybe this will be better. Canada gets hot in July and August. Yes, we're very much looking forward to a little heat. What are these supposed to be again? $36. And 72. Okay, let's see if this is any better. I can figure out how to get back to where I was. Twitch subscriber badge. Hamburger preferences, subscriptions, loyalty badges. Where is it? It's not here. Settings, affiliate. Subscriber badges. Here we go. Delete these. They're not good. Or at least they can be better. How hot? It can get about as hot as Thailand can in its hottest time. However, I find the thing about Thailand that is frustrating is how humid it gets in addition to the heat. But it depends on where you are in Canada. Will depend on how hot it gets. Okay, let's see. All right, that's a little better. It's kind of cute. If you refresh again, you got this little badge. Ugh. Will it update on chat too? I wonder if like the chat that's on screen. Let's see. Somebody say something. Set up tour. I guess not. It might. Oh, I think it will. in the future. I can see that it's working in Stream Elements, but it's not working on OBS. It's probably because OBS needs to update. Oh well, it'll happen in time. It looks cute though. Thank you for initiating this, Pixels. I appreciate that. We can stop being a basic bee. I do have a zap gun, yeah. You want to see my gun? Listen to that trigger. It's for the duck game, yeah. Subscribe. Did you beat up some boomer for that light gun? Bro, this is my light gun as a kid. I'm a millennial. I'm 34 years old, alright? This is the best of all the light guns too. There's a bunch of like knockoffs. This is the real deal. Okay, boomer. Whatever you say, boomer. You know, I guess whatever. I'll take it. You're just jealous, all right? Actually, the light gun technology is really interesting. First console was the NES. I think it's like 40 years old. Yeah. I mean, technically, it's like my parents' console. Maybe I am jealous of your orange gun. The funny thing about this is in Japan, they, the original Japanese gun was meant to look like a life gun. Japanese NES light gun. God damn it. Let's see. Images. Yeah, so the original Japanese gun looked like this. But of course, because the United States had so much gun violence, they were worried. And I think there was actually another precedent where like another company ended up like making a similar looking light gun, and like somebody like got killed in the US by, you know, going out on the street with their light gun and getting shot by the police or something, because it's the goddamn United States of America. And so Nintendo, not wanting to take any risks, I think they did after that incident, they legalized or they made it so that you had to have an orange tip on the front of your gun, like how, you know, fake guns always have an orange tip, right? In North America. So for that reason, Nintendo decided not to take any risks and make the whole thing orange. And that's why we ended up with this very orange light gun. Yeah, that must be for Family Computer. Original Famicom. So, I don't know. That it's pretty cool. This, I guarantee you this thing still works. Like, these things are like indestructible with the plastic that they're made from. Whatever you say, boomer. think the design is pretty good. It looks futuristic, and shooting things at your TV and hitting them feels futuristic. At the time, it was like mind-blowing technology, you know? The technology is pretty impressive. I believe the way it works is that there is, forget if it's a black space or a white space. So behind the duck, for example, like if you're pointing it at the screen, right? And you want to shoot the duck, there is either, I'm pretty sure it's a white space that is like behind the duck, and the gun can detect if it hits the white space or everywhere else on the screen is a black space. So when you hit that space by pointing at it, it successfully, something about this like successfully detects that you've hit the white space, and then it's like, okay, and then it reacts to that. Do you have a CRT? I do not, but what I should get is the adapter, because we could be playing Duck Hunt right now if I had the right setup. We could be playing on stream. It's not like you can just pirate Duck Hunt either. Right, I guess the problem is too, you can't play on a modern screen with the point and shoot. Right? Because there's something about that. I forget. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. You're right. But you gotta play it plugged in, and the cord isn't that long, so it's pretty hard to miss. Yeah, but it gets fast. The thing is, it becomes like more of a speed challenge than anything else. So all right, thanks for the side quest here, Pixels. In the future, I'll work on the subscriber badge as well, so that if you subscribe for longer, maybe you get some sort of like bonus picture on the subscriber badge. That'd be cool. Yes, sir. Okay, what is going on, world? How is everyone feeling? There's a lot of interesting news today. Most of it has to do with indigenous rights, which I'm, I guess, excited about. You know, it's not really good news, but I'm glad there is news highlighting the issues for indigenous rights. A really kind of interesting story coming out of Ontario right now. Why did this pop up on your face? Oh, because if you use emojis in chat, um, they'll pop up on screen. So, when Nightbot says join the My Homie Tutaro community on Discord and uses these emojis, it's like Space Invaders. You see? So yeah, if you use any emotes, including our custom emotes, then they come up on screen. Part of the problem is like, so all the best emotes, all of these ones, yes. So if you do this, dead, absolutely dead. I feel like when I hear nothing about indigenous rights, they're sliding back, not even staying still. Yeah, that is, you're not wrong. I. Pixels, are you just discovering this for the first time, that you can put emotes on the screen? Because we've known this. We've known this. Okay, let me set up this story. Because it's a very important one, I feel like. Something that's not going to get the coverage it deserves. This is cool. Yeah, where are these bear emojis from? that you use. I like them. Or are they different? They're from different channels. That's why Twitch chat is the best, because you actually get custom emotes. If YouTube chat were able to do that, it would be much more exciting to migrate over there. But part of the reason I don't want to is because we put so much effort into making Twitch chat fun, you know? The bear emojis are from a different streamer. Pixel pixels. That's right. This is like the, I don't know what the equivalent would be in Thailand, but this is like the premier of Ontario, which is like the province that we live in. So the leader of the province is this man in the clown face. Okay. Let me just finish reading up on this really quick so I can present it. He did the clown face voluntarily. He didn't. He is a clown voluntarily, but people just did the, you know, people helped him out a little by making it real. Amazing. Elected clowns, nothing new and still sad. Yeah. So if you redeem emoji only chat and spam emojis, I wouldn't get banned. No. You know, if as long as you're following the law of chat. But if you do emote only chat, well, it depends. Like if it's during the middle of a serious story, then we can't really do emote only chat. Oh, pixels. All right, inappropriate innuendos got a train ticket. We're taking the train. Okay. Okay. I think we're really almost ready to do this story. So I'm gonna have to hold on to that thought there, pixels. Wait, why won't it pop up anymore? What are you talking about? You haven't used any emotes. I wonder where this is. Chief Wayne Munias.
Good morning. This is Chief Rias, the Sharia First Nation.
Let me see this transcript.
You're not going to cross our river system without our free, prior, informed consent. You're going to have to kill us. You're going to have to do more than just getting access from the.
All right. let's do the story. Okay. We got work to do.
Got to try and take it easy till I get back to normal.
Hey, what's up? 990? What kind of Pokemon are you? Thank you so much for being a first-time follower. How did you hear about us? Mods have the power to mute if emotes are overused. Oh, do you? Yo. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us. How did you hear about us? And are you a troll? Because we've been getting a few of those lately. Yeah, so your name is 990. It's a very long-winded way. Vaccines baby's a troll? Is that true? No way. Vaccines baby, you've been subscribing for 3 months. If you're a troll, then you're one of the best trolls out there because you're like actively giving me money through your Prime Gaming account. So we appreciate those trolls. We appreciate the trolls like that, okay? Also, good morning. Good morning. Can we talk about how crooked hierarchy uses mainstream media to manipulate people to use them for war slaves in this channel? I mean, we do talk about that, I guess. I don't know. It really depends on which context you're talking about. But yeah, you can. Pixels, just discovering emotes on screen for the first time. I mean, in a way, right? We are slaves to mainstream media. Okay. So, Ontario, yesterday, exciting news. Niskantaga Chief-elect Chris Munias and current Chief Wayne Munias disrupted the Ontario House of Parliament, and they were kicked out over some kind of exciting reasons. We have the video here, so we're gonna start off by watching that. This is all over the First Nations opposition to the Ring of Fire, which is the mining development that they want to do in northern Ontario. I haven't watched this video yet, but this is been seen by over 200,000 people, which is exciting. People are kind of getting more aware of this story. So I believe what he's saying there is no ring of fire. It's the audio and the video is not good quality. No ring of fire. I think he's saying there, you're not crossing our river. And there's Doug Ford being an absolute coward and not even looking at them. Our people's lives are important. Okay, so obviously you're not allowed to disrupt the House of Parliament's proceedings, but that's what happened in this case. I think it is a deserved reason, though, because it is a protest. So there is an article here from the Narwhal that has some great pictures of the Naskantaga First Nation standing in solidarity together. So this was an organized protest, and there are some very moving testimonials that are coming as a result of this. Globe and Mail also has some coverage on it. You can see again just how many people showed up in solidarity. I believe it was about 80 people from different First Nations communities who are doing this protest. So 2 senior leaders of an Ontario First Nation were escorted out of the provincial legislature Wednesday after loudly accusing Premier Doug Ford's government of failing to consult them about mining in Northern Ontario's Ring of Fire region. The Ring of Fire, located about 550 kilometers northeast of Thunder Bay. So this is like really, really north. Has been a focus for the provincial government since significant mineral deposits were discovered there in 2006. So, of course, this is the Canadian way, the colonial way of being like, oh, wow, there's these nations that exist, and except we don't really care about them until we find out that they're sitting on or close to a critical mineral deposit that suddenly we need in order to complete our green transition. So, of course, we believe in a green transition and it's something we advocate for, but it should not come at the expense of ongoing genocide against First Nations people. Currently, 6 provincial and federal environmental studies are underway. Mr. Ford's government has pledged $1 billion and repeatedly asked the federal government to match its commitment. At least 9 Indigenous communities are being consulted. 2 of them, Martin Falls First Nation and Wabeki First Nation, are broadly in favor of the development. However, several other First Nations whose traditional territories overlap on the Ring of Fire are vehemently opposed and argue they have not been adequately consulted. So, this is, of course, new guy. What are you saying? Don't even think Indigenous people had problems with alcoholism and addictions until Europeans came into the picture. Yeah, of course. A lot of these problems are systemic and the result of colonialism. The leaders of Neskantaga First Nation and 4 other First Nations, as well as about 80 community members, traveled to Queen's Park from Northern Ontario and pleaded with Mr. Ford on Wednesday to put the brakes on mining developments. There will not be a Ring of Fire. There has been no free and prior informed consent, Christopher Munius, incoming chief of Neskantaga, told Mr. Ford from the gallery in Ontario's legislature on Wednesday. Doug Ford, you come and meet me. So this is an exact quote here of Christopher Munius really just calling out Doug Ford and saying, hey, like, come talk to me, meet me, essentially leader to leader, nation to nation. And, Doug Ford, you can see in the video that we just watched that he's just like looking forward, pretending that this isn't a problem for him. By the vibe that I'm getting, it seems like Doug Ford is going to ignore this. Mr. Munius was escorted out of the room shortly after. Wayne Munius, the current chief of Neskantaga, who joined Christopher in a chant against the Ring of Fire, was also escorted out. And, we have some great pictures here from the Narwhal. You can see the exact moment when they were escorted out as well. So it's like right here. Kudos to the photographer here, who is taking some great photos. There's also a map here of the proposed projects. You can see that they want to build these roads, and again, they have not done the proper consulting, but all of a sudden they're interested in these communities. So there are other communities that are raising these issues, including Grassy Narrows chief Rudy Turtle. Grassy Narrows is another First Nations community that said hundreds of thousands of hectares in additional claims have been staked over the past year or so in its traditional territories, and that is having a detrimental environmental impact. He said the community doesn't want any mining development, fearing it would harm the environment and the land which the community depends on for sustenance. Grassy Narrows has waged a decades-long battle after a paper mill dumped large amounts of mercury into its rivers in the 1960s and 1970s, contaminating the First Nations rivers and supply of fish, and leaving many of its population suffering health effects from mercury poisoning. So this is just an example of what happens when you favor industry over First Nations autonomy, and look at the negative effects that this has had. So of course it's important to go through the proper consultation with these communities, and respect their sovereignty. Currently, mining claims can be staked in Ontario without consultation. However, Grassy Narrows would like to change this. Earlier this month, Neskantaga warned Ring of Fire Metals, the Australian mining company bent on developing the region, and it's like, okay, it's like, why even outsource this to an Australian company? I don't even understand. It's just like colonialism all over the world working together to smash the rights of Indigenous peoples. That it will have to use force against members of the First Nation before it would allow development. Now, the exact quote that the Globe and Mail here is being too much of a coward to print is that you're going to have to kill us.
You're not going to cross our river system without our free, prior, informed consent. You're going to have to kill us. You're going to have to do more than just getting access from the province of Ontario.
Okay, so this is how real they are in standing up against Ontario. They're like, you're gonna have to kill us. You're gonna have to come to our nation and continue your colonial genocide against us if you really want to develop this land. Neskantaga said it was unable to participate in consultations on the Ring of Fire or meet the process's deadlines, in part because of the COVID-19 pandemic. With a population of just 400, Neskantaga is located about 430 kilometers northeast of Thunder Bay and is among the most impoverished places in Canada. The First Nation has been under a boil water advisory for more than 28 years. So this is something that just pisses me off. Is like, okay, well, suddenly we're gonna build a road for this rural First Nations community. Suddenly, for some reason, all of a sudden, the government of Ontario cares about this community, and they're trying to build infrastructure into this community. But why? Not so that they can help them have clean drinking water, which they've been under a boil water advisory for 28 years, but so that they can extract critical minerals out of their community and use them as a win to develop, I don't know, electric cars, which seems to be the new big thing that Ontario wants to do. So really gross. Lots of people coming out here on Twitter in support of the Neskantaga First Nation. There was the MPP, what's his name, Soul Merritt Stiles also came out saying that I guess she talked to some of the protesters and activists from different First Nations who were there in solidarity. So this, I suppose, is good. I feel like colonialism has this way of oh, if not Doug Ford, then why don't we work with Merritt Stiles? And we don't really know what the results would be. Merritt Stiles here is saying, though, what a pleasure to join leadership and members from Kitchenou, Kusib, Inunwug, Grassy Narrows, Wapakeka, Neskantaga, and Muskrat Dam this afternoon. All resource projects in Ontario must have the free, prior, and informed consent from affected Indigenous communities. And honestly, that is kind of the sense that I get, they're asking for proper consultation. They're, I'm sure if you were to help some of these communities, have some other infrastructure wins, like clean drinking water, then maybe they would be willing to play ball with you, right? But the problem is that they're just trying to pave over their rights and their sovereignty. They need to just consult with them. They're not even saying you can never do this. They're just saying, hey, you need to consult with us. And the fact that Doug Ford is just like staring off into oblivion as if this is not something that affects him on even an emotional level is really concerning. So Emma McIntosh also doing a great a piece about this in the Narwhal. Today, the 4 First Nations took the fight to protect their territories from mining to Queen's Park. I wrote about why they traveled so far to do this, Premier Ford's refusal to acknowledge them. Before I move on, I'm feeling a bit bad that I'm forgetting the name here of the MPP. I believe their name is MPP Sol Mamakwa. So yeah, shout out to them. They are they're an Indigenous MPP, so it's great that we have this representation, and they are able to lend their platform to other First Nations peoples and give them a voice. Emma McIntosh of the Narwhal here is also providing us with some really great insight, and some, in addition to these great pictures. Here it is. I could have just transitioned into this easier. Moments earlier, amid question period, NDP MPP Sol Mamakwa had asked Premier Doug Ford if he would meet with the chiefs seated above to hear their concerns. A sit-down they said they'd been seeking for weeks. Ford didn't answer, deferring to another minister instead. So in defense of Doug Ford here, if the Neskantaga First Nations wanted to get in touch with him, they could have simply bought a plate at his daughter's Stag and Doe, or donated potentially thousands of dollars to get his ear. So silly of them to try to go through the proper channels in order to get the attention of Doug Ford. No consent, no ring of fire, he said. Doug Ford come and meet me. So again, repeating here what they said in the Globe and Mail article. Doug Ford, come and meet me. Really strong words. Our people's lives are important, said Wayne Munias, who is the outgoing chief. And again, repeating the words, no ring of fire, no ring of fire. Almost everyone agrees that roads would upend life for First Nations in the Ring of Fire region, but different leaders and individuals within each community have varying views on what should happen and whether governments and industry have gone about it the right way. Of course, these other First Nations, again, this is not just First Nations versus Ontario. These are many different nations who have diverse opinions about what they want to see happen. So you need to respect all of those voices. My concern here is that the Wabeki and Martin Falls First Nations are the ones that have been consulted with because they are the ones who are on board with these projects. And maybe it benefits them in ways that it doesn't benefit different First Nations. So it's really important to just hear all of these voices. You can see in this red is these red splotches. That is the Ring of Fire mining claims as of December 10th, 2021. You can see a supply road here to Wabeki. Maybe that benefits them in a way that does not benefit Neskantaga. Because they're also suggesting these other road links, this yellow road and this green road, which to me looks like a snake. It looks like an angry snake to the Martin Falls Community Access Road. So Martin Falls gets a road. Wabeki gets a road. Neskantaga is saying, you're not going to cross our river, right? Which is, you can see the river here, and they want to build a road over this river. So it's really kind of interesting, and you can see where this is in relationship to Thunder Bay. It's a trouser snake. It's Doug Ford's trouser snake. Really, just he's gets a little erect when it comes to destroying the rights of First Nations peoples. Neskantaga says the nation, which is also handling crises with youth suicides and long-term boil water advisories caused by the ongoing impacts of colonization, needs more than government emails and updates. Its members need time and resources to truly absorb the various proposals and options. They also need consultations to be held in the community and in and Anishinaabemoan, the language spoken by many who live there. So yeah, it's just like it's not even like they're saying, hey, you're never gonna do this, but they're just saying like you need to consult us. And maybe if you do things like help them deal with the ongoing crises of that are a result of colonization, and you give them the resources in the language that they speak, maybe you can get your way. But it's just like the Doug Ford government is just trying to ram through this mining project without doing any of that work. He wants to destroy my territory. He should come talk to me, Chris Munoz said of Ford. So that's what he's saying. Come talk to me, and Ford, why not? Why are you scared to just talk? Bedabun Munoz, who I've also seen referred to as B. Munoz, is a young member of Neskantaga First Nation with a message for the premier. This is to Doug Ford, she said with tears running down her cheeks. Think about us. Think about our next generation. What if we lose our culture? What if we lose our land? I don't want to lose our land. So really impassioned speech here from a young member of this First Nation. Indigenous nations vow to fight the surge of mining claims after recent policy changes. And this is again highlighting the Grassy Narrows chief, Rudy Turtle, said he was at Queen's Park on Wednesday as well to remind the government that his nation has been very clear on where it stands when it comes to resource extraction in their territory. So, we do hope that Doug Ford grows a set of balls and is able to meet with the First Nations who just want to be consulted about this. There's more here. Alvin Fiddler, a former Grand Chief of Anishinaabe Aski First Nation, who was there to speak on behalf of Muskrat Dam First Nation. He said he is also alarmed about the flurry of mining claims being staked on the nation's territory. He said he had come to Queen's Park to remind the government that it does not have the authority to infringe on Indigenous rights, which he said it has done over and over. If we allow industry in Ontario to continue to trample on our rights, to trample upon our communities, things will get a lot worse in communities, Fiddler said. That's why we're here to remind Ontario that we're here, that they exist, that you need to talk to us. So, we hope to see some movement on this issue, and it's really great to see this impassioned protest and speech and First Nations standing up against Doug Ford. It's a reminder as well that sometimes it's the most marginalized people in Canada who are tasked with standing up to bullies like Doug Ford, and realistically, this is something that we should all be doing collectively, because Doug Ford wants to develop more than just Indigenous territory, but also even the white land protectors who are trying to protect the Greenbelt and who have tried to are not even able to do that. So it will take the collective of us to stop this evil Doug Ford government. And this is the moment where you put the clown emojis in chat. All right, there we go. This is how Europeans colonize, slow, methodical movements, and if that doesn't work, they just plan major genocide while hiding it from the general public using a highly cost-effective and developed propaganda campaign. Lying to the masses is a science now and has been perfected quite well. Yes. 990, coming in hot with the media criticism takes. Do you think that Eurasia has just evolved out of the phenomena of grouping up like different troops of primates? I don't know. That's out of the Doug Ford playbook. Nothing to say. Yeah. Ontario needs to vote him out. That is how our society works. Sadly, we didn't, which is tacit approval to whatever he does. Yeah, I mean, but he didn't run on any of these things. But yeah, I totally agree. It's really a sad part of our electoral system, right? Because the majority of Ontarians did not vote for Doug Ford. It's something like 19% of eligible voters voted for Doug Ford, and they get a majority government out of that. So really sad that our system is so flawed. Even the majority of people who did vote did not vote for Doug Ford, and we still end up with the Doug Ford majority. So it's really disgusting that our system allows something like this, and then we say our democracy is under threat from foreign agents in China. So absolutely pathetic. I was doing a little learning yesterday. Yeah, reading the voter turnout percentage was depressing. Yeah, it really is. I was doing a little learning yesterday about the federal budget, which is boring but important. I'm gonna try to like do a little bit more and try to make a video on it tomorrow, because I think it's like one of those things that is like low key important. Um, and we should be knowledgeable of. Um, it seems to me though like there's actually a lot of like decent things in this new liberal budget. The interviews were so distracting yesterday. Yeah. Plus, I didn't wake up early enough to read the paper. If I had just woken up to read the paper, I could have given more insight about it. Which is a good reminder for me too, because I have been considering like canceling my Globe and Mail subscription for the physical newspaper. Because I have been doing a bit more, at least when I'm streaming, a bit more diversity on the resources that I use. But then, like at the same time, it's like if I had just woken up and read the paper, I would have known so much more. Um, and it's really hard to get that context. Otherwise, like the thing about the Globe and Mail is that they're trash and all that, and they're mainstream. But at the same time, if I don't have it delivered in this way, I just get sucked down like sensationalized news rabbit holes, because that is just kind of like how the internet works. However, even how I discovered this story today about the First Nations in Ontario, is in the business section. The business section of the Globe and Mail is this story. And I'm like, who would think to look there? Like I was like, hey, there's nothing like that interesting in the main section, for me at least, right? But then this is in the business section, and it's like if I didn't read this, it wouldn't have led me down this way. So I don't know. I think unfortunately I'm probably gonna keep my Globe and Mail subscription, even though it's at least they deliver the news to you in a physical form every morning. I think that is quite a valuable and kind of like rare service in this day and age. Europeans see Indigenous like pests and have for centuries. Even the American Constitution still has a clause in it by Thomas Jefferson that calls Indigenous, quote, merciless Indian savages. It's still in there. Really? That's disgusting. Yeah, it's I think obviously it's not true of like us as descendants of European peoples. Yeah, you can you can just say colonizer. Yeah. Um, but the way that our systems function, definitely I think they see not just Indigenous people as pests, but also a lot of like racialized, even just you could even say just working class people as pests, because that is essentially the way that our systems function. And it's important to understand that this isn't a problem just for Indigenous folks, and this call to genocide is also something that gets extended to whoever is convenient, right? Like right now, this call for genocide is being extended to trans people, because that is expedient in drawing attention away from what is really important. And what is really important actually is a realization that we achieve working class solidarity. in order to disrupt the current system as it exists. But you know what is a great distraction against that? Riling people up against 0.5% of the population, which is like trans people in North America. And starting this gigantic hate campaign against a minority group. Right? But the minority group that we should be focused on is the 0.5% of the wealthiest people in North America. But we're focused on this super marginalized group that has no power instead. And that, as you point out, 990, is part of this kind of like mainstream media campaign. It's not even like mainstream media. It's like it's like popular right-wing American media. The problem as well is that American laws around their media, they're not as strong as they are in Canada. Like, you don't see Tucker Carlson on, like, let's say, I don't know, what is the furthest right leaning, on like a post-media television talk show calling openly for genocide or in favor of white supremacy or against racialized groups, but you can literally like do that in America with like no shame. And unfortunately, because of their weak laws around the way that they regulate their media, that influences idiots here in Canada as well. So it is a crying shame. Delved into history study of Europe all through COVID. What you found was the entire history of Eurasia, which is filled with nothing but invasions and conquests of each other's kingdoms, horrific endeavors of human trafficking. That's pretty gross. I don't know, is the word Eurasia even like a legit word? Is like, do people actually refer to Eurasia as this? I guess they do. It is legit in Wikipedia. Largest continental area on Earth, comprising of all of Europe and Asia. I guess we really just refer to Europe and Asia as like separate continents. The concepts of Europe and Asia as distinct continents date back to antiquity, but their borders are arbitrary and have historically been subject to change. Eurasia is connected to Africa at the Suez Canal, and the two are sometimes combined to describe the largest contiguous landmass on Earth. Afro-Eurasia? Afro-Eurasia? You might, at this point, you might as well just include the entire world. Like, if you're once you start using Afro-Eurasia, you might as well just say Earth, I think. It's like, geez. It just seems like that's like, if you want to specifically exclude like North American and South American people, you can say Afro-Eurasia. True. I guess in a way, I'm Eurasian, being mixed of European and Asian descent, but it's not really a common way to refer to people. At least not in North America. When I was living in Asia, though, there was like a group called Eurasian peoples. Hope everyone's having a good Thursday. Thanks. Glad to be here. How did you hear about us? Oh crap. I'll be right back. I just need to make a little more coffee. Yo, sorry. I should have left you with space, but I just left you with the empty chair. Apologies about that. I had a bit of a moment there. It's because I need more hot water in my life. Sometimes it goes seconds on this coffee pot, you know? You're born into a military family. Unfortunately, both your parents were baby boomer hippies? Okay. It's a interesting history you have there. I mean, the hippie movement, I guess, in large part was a failure. They were successful in stopping the war in, like, Vietnam, though, right? Not really why the war ended, necessarily, but they did good work of being anti-war. Seems that the hippie movement essentially became a movement of people who just like became boomers and gave in to capitalism. I guess that's where you get the word like yuppie as well, right? It's like a play off of the word hippie. Like a tech bro kind of hippie is like a yuppie, right? It's like someone who believes in those things and tries to implement hippie kind of ideals through capitalism. Doesn't really work out that way though. Parents bought their first house for $54,000. Don't tell me this, Antifa. I know, I mean that's great though. Wouldn't call yourself a radical in any way, just admire justice for things to operate in a less violent manner. Yeah. You know, it'd be nice. I guess I would consider myself... Well, that's the thing. I don't consider myself a radical, but I think within the mainstream political spectrum, people would label me a radical because I believe in things like workers having rights. Two-story brick. Not fair that we would need to get at least 1 million to get that. Yeah. I know my great uncle, he bought his house for like 90,000 and now it's probably worth like over 1.5 mil. And it's just like it's not even like a super fancy house, it's just a normal house in the right place.
Got to try and take it easy till I get back to normal.
Yo, URB. You okay? Are you wearing rubber pants? Okay. All right, I got this is seems like spam. Yo, RJ, what's up? We're having a very chill stream today. We've done one new segment, and I'm not even sure if we're gonna do another, but I enjoy just hanging out sometimes. I want to talk about Wet'suwet'en, but I'm kind of thinking it might be worth waiting another day until more comes out about it. Talk about it every day, true. Just as a side note, what? I don't know. Is it? I don't know who that is. Depeche Mode are an English electronic band formed in Basildon. Random, but thanks. Yes, this is so random. It's an 80s band? Okay. I don't know. I don't even know anything about like music of my own generation, so asking me to know more about anything is hard. It's hard. I have to say, I'm enjoying the new subscriber badge. It's cute. I regret not doing it earlier now. Popular in the 80s. You would classify today as electronic, industrial, emo. Okay. Are you from Las Vegas? Are you Canadian? 900? They're freaking great. I would play some of their music right now if it probably wasn't copyright. They're amazing. True, I guess I'm really missing out. There's a new album from DP. Well, damn. Love 80s music. Oh, from Washington State. Cool. So you're pretty close to us then, right? Washington State is close to oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Washington DC. Goddamn America. Right, that's where Seattle is. Never mind. I mean, you're close to Canada, but you're not really close to Ontario. I always get confused about Washington and like, where's Washington DC? God damn it. Okay, yeah, like Washington DC is close to New York. It's over here. And we're like over here in Ontario. And you're like over here on the West Coast. So it's like really early there. Thank you for joining us so early in the morning. Yeah, that's weird, man. You mean you didn't just develop parasocial relationships with people on Twitch? Weird. I'm a 90s baby. So like I was born in 88, so I am a product of the 90s. That's why I have all this Nintendo swag back here. You know, we still got outside though. We still got some fresh air. More than we get in this day and age. Oh, you know what else is a stupid story? The 80s movie War Games was based in and around Seattle. Must watch if you aspire to understand Gen X better, as the Cold War was still in full swing during that period. Okay. I wish I could just download all of like human history into my brain. You know, I'm tired of my brain not being able to hold the entirety of history within its depths. But interesting story here. Well, I guess interesting in so much as it kind of goes to show how this has been like a BS campaign. RCMP is not investigating foreign interference in Vancouver's 2022 election, despite the CSIS report. It turns out that nobody cares about this. And the fact that it was being leaked was kind of just like a waste of time and potentially an information operation against the people of Canada. The RCMP is not investigating foreign interference in Vancouver's election last year, despite a Canadian intelligence report that China's consul general sought to shape the outcome of that vote. So at the time when this was happening, people were calling for action and not just unfounded information. Because the person who was falling victim to all this was Ken Sim, the first Chinese Canadian person to be the mayor of Toronto, and there was quite an emotional speech of him saying that it just hurt because there was no proof to these allegations. In a statement, spokeswoman Robin Percival said there is no RCMP investigation into the matter at this time. She suggested anyone who suspects foreign interference call the police. It's like, hey, if people are doing illegal things, you can always call the police. Thank you for that. But whereas if you work for CSIS, Canadian intelligence, you can just get an interview with the Globe and Mail on some unfounded allegations, and they'll just print what you say. In Tuesday's federal budget, the Liberal government announced more than $60 million to fund counter-interference work, including nearly $50 million for the RCMP and $13.5 million to create a national counter-foreign interference office in the Department of Public Safety. So we're going to talk about this probably more tomorrow when I need to make a bunch of content for the weekend. But yeah, this was kind of the most controversial thing for me about the new federal budget, because I've kind of been like impassioned about this issue. The Vancouver Consul General's conduct, as described by CSIS, does not appear to violate the Local Elections Campaign Financing Act. Elections BC spokesman Andrew Watson said in a statement. So another person, not only the RCMP coming out, but the spokesperson for Elections BC also saying that this doesn't violate any laws or rules about elections. So again, why were we made to care so much about this issue? Provided you do not step over the line into the regulated interactions, such as paid advertisements, it's still essentially a Wild West scenario, said Rachel Roy, a specialist in election law who is a partner at Elevado Quayle, yada, 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 a Vancouver law firm. She's saying here that the only way to really break these rules is to spend too much money on election advertisements. But they didn't, nobody broke that rule. So a lot of foreign interference activities operate in a gray zone where they aren't clearly illegal. There's a real parallel with the Cold War and what was referred to as subversion, said Steve Hewitt, a lecturer at the University of Birmingham and specialist on the history of Canadian state surveillance. So yeah, basically just a bunch of different sources coming out here to say that the Vancouver mayoral race and city council elections were not in violation of any existing laws or rules. And it's kind of just ridiculous that this article, you know, it was on the front page of the Globe and Mail physical newspaper. I'll give them that. But when I was looking for it on their website, it was buried deep. Like, it was not on the front page the way that it was when these unfounded allegations were coming out against Ken Sim. So I went to the Canada tab. It wasn't there either. It wasn't anywhere on the Canada tab. So I went to the British Columbia tab, where you think the Vancouver mayoral elections would be top of mind. Okay. Oh wait, no, it's not there either. It was like nowhere to be found on this website. The way I had to find it, I had to go and search for it, and the only reason I knew about it was because I had a physical copy of the newspaper. So it was just really annoying to me that when this is being led by CSIS allegations that have not been confirmed, that is front page news. That is going to make the front page of the newspaper and the website and be the top story on social media. But when there's more evidence saying, hey, that story we ran with, there's kind of like nothing to it, which is in a way kind of a bit of a correction. It's not something that is as important, and that to me is really frustrating. Chill with the history lessons. Yeah, it's a little much. 990. We should try our best here to like stay on topic. It's really distracting when someone is going off about other topics. Have you heard the theory about that? NT for squirrel. I thought that theory was unfounded. I thought that was like debunked. Yeah, it's hard to live stream, and there's a lot of distractions already. So when someone is in chat just going off um on like long texts, it's really hard to address, especially like if they're not on topic, you know? So especially like, we can't you can always send links. It's controversial to say the least, but it won't take us further off topic. I'm not sure if it even really matters. Like, in what if it was true? What would change? Maybe the only thing that would change is that they'd be like, indigenous people are agents of China trying to interfere with our elections by claiming their own sovereignty on Canadian soil. But I'm not sure if anything else other than that would be like, I don't think anything would really change. I mean, we all came from Africa, as the theory goes, right? Either that or aliens. It gets all tied up with colonial approaches to scholarship versus indigenous knowledge, etc., etc. Right. That makes sense. Let's see. I do want to watch a little bit of news. Is there anything interesting coming out of Canadian news right now? Oh yeah, what was going on with Danielle Smith?
The CBC's Jason Markusoff is following this story for us from Calgary and takes us through the allegations made against the Premier.
Oh, this is quite extraordinary to hear a full conversation between Premier Danielle Smith and Artur Pawlowski, this Calgary pastor who was about to face a criminal trial on charges of mischief and other charges related to actions he took and comments he made at the Coutts border blockade. It's very rare that you will hear, or anytime you'll hear a premier speaking in this candid way to an individual facing criminal charges.
I always, whenever this guy speaks, I get the feeling that he has insomnia. like get rest.
From her own government, expressing sympathy with him, telling him that she brings up cases like this almost weekly. There has been, we have been reporting previously that the Premier's office has been making unusual frequency of an amount of entreaties and questions and pressure on Alberta justice officials with regards to these cases. Danielle Smith had said previously that she was going to grant amnesty for these cases because she's didn't believe in the COVID prosecutions, didn't believe in a lot of the COVID restrictions. In this tape, she acknowledges that she thought she had powers like the president in the U.S.
I thought I had powers with the president. What do you want me to do? I thought I had powers.
And acknowledge that she doesn't, and her powers are limited to actually interfere and squash these prosecutions. This has been a distinction that she has been making, that her staff and the Premier herself has not had conversations about these cases with officials with the Crown Prosecution Office. The individuals that she has had conversations with are at the the toppermost of the justice system, the Alberta Justice Minister, her Minister Tyler Shandro, and the Deputy Minister who runs the bureaucracy. CBC has heard from sources, as you reported in January, that there was some direct conversations with prosecutors or people within the prosecution service.
Yeah, he looks so sad. I feel like he just needs rest. Like, he just needs sleep. He looks like he's on his 10th cup of coffee after staying up all night, you know?
But Danielle Smith and her aides have insisted that this is not the case.
I didn't even understand what the story was about, but luckily I have an article right here that we can read. So Daniel Smith asked prosecutors about COVID-19 infraction cases almost weekly, according to a recording. Alberta Premier Daniel Smith told a street preacher facing charges related to the Alberta-Montana border blockade and COVID-19 infractions that she asked prosecutors almost weekly about such cases, according to a recording of a phone call posted online. Okay, so can we please just get this phone call? What is her name again? Danielle Smith. Phone call. Let's just get the phone call. Why? It's so annoying that like you have to go to Twitter to get this like stuff. You know, it's like just link it. Just link it, Globe and Mail. I don't care about your article, okay? Like I want the juice. If it's been leaked online, then why not link it right here? You know, you're a direct source for the CSIS leaks. I just want to hear the phone conversation. I don't know where it is. Phone call online. I want the phone call. Okay, I can't find it. Chat, if anyone can find it, that would be really really nice. Okay, wait, there's another story here. Okay, this is from the National. Okay, we got it. 12 hours ago from the National. Arthur, nice to talk to you.
In a leaked recording of an 11-minute phone conversation, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is heard talking to Arthur Pawlowski just weeks before his criminal trial for pandemic-related charges.
I'm very sympathetic. I think this is very frustrating to me that we find ourselves. Everybody has moved on.
So, like, if we're getting this right, this guy is basically like a domestic terrorist. Like, the video, which captured a telephone call earlier this year between Ms. Smith and Arthur Pawlowski, a vocal critic of public health measures related to COVID, renewed allegations that the premier and her office attempted to interfere with pandemic-related prosecutions. You know, like, being critical of the COVID-19 measures is one thing, but what is concerning for me is the Alberta-Montana border blockade. Because that is essentially, like, let's face it, white supremacist domestic terrorism. Ms. Smith won the United Conservative Party leadership, yada, yada, yada. She's like a pandemic denier, which is scary that she has as much power as she does, and she's as vocal about it as she is. Once the process is underway, I can ask our prosecutors, is there a reasonable likelihood of conviction, and if it is in the public interest? Okay, Mr. Pawlowski was the first person to be charged under Alberta's Critical Infrastructure Defense Act.
From COVID, and we're dealing with a bunch of charges.
The pastor is charged with criminal mischief and a provincial offense in connection to last year's Coots border blockade. In the recording,
Daniel Smith consorting with white supremacists. Surprise Pikachu. We do specifically, you don't even need to type that out. We do have a surprise Pikachu emoji of our very own.
Smith is heard saying she does not have the power to pardon him, but she does have some reach.
I can ask our prosecutors, is there a reasonable likelihood of conviction? And is it in the public interest? And I assure you.
Is it in the public interest? Like, that is like what is like frustrating. You know, the same people who will call this out will be like, we need to save Trump from getting prosecuted because, you know, it's a political campaign. And then here is you know, somebody along that same tier of ideology saying, you know, maybe I can use my political influence to like get you off the hook.
I have asked them that almost weekly ever since I got started here.
In a statement,
So that's what she's been doing.
Smith says, "At no time have I spoken with anyone from the Alberta Crown Prosecution Service, nor to my knowledge have any of my office's staff." Smith says she has only spoken to the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General about the case. CBC News has previously reported sources said the Premier and her office were constantly pushing Justice Department officials to intervene in COVID-related court cases, amounting to inappropriate pressure. Smith says
That is really weird, right? Like, there's supposed to be, you know, no political influence under the law. Whereas Daniel Smith, honestly, I think she's just a bit of a ditz about the whole thing, where she literally, what, in one of the other quotes, like, I thought I had the same powers as the president. Like, bruh, you're a Canadian politician. The word president should not, like, be in your mind when you're thinking about stuff like this.
Communication was appropriate.
It's deeply, deeply concerning.
The NDP released video of the call. CBC News has obtained a full copy of the recorded conversation and has verified it. The opposition is renewing calls for...
So that's at 11 minutes, 2 seconds. Just link it.
...for an independent investigation into possible interference in the justice system.
Albertans deserve to know what happened, and Albertans deserve to be
let's go.
reassured
Get her.
that their justice system is independent of political interference.
We don't want political interference at any level. No politician should ever take this kind of call. It's surprising that the Premier did.
While
I love, like, their whole thing is like, hey, the Canadian government is conspiring in order to create these laws that are going to oppress you through this fake conspiracy of COVID-19. And then meanwhile, they, like, actively engage in conspiracy.
Smith may not have broken any law, this professor says it's about the ethics.
I mean, it's not acceptable. I guess it's a question of what are the political consequences.
And with just weeks until an election campaign, that political impact could be the biggest on undecided voters, says this expert.
This is going to give them pause about her judgment. And that seems to be Danielle Smith's Achilles heel. She's smart, she's articulate, but she has a history in politics where sometimes she...
Is she smart, though?
...shows poor judgment.
And
I think her whole thing is like poor judgment after poor judgment.
Julia, that election is coming up pretty fast. How do we expect the next few weeks to play out now?
So, Adrian, this particular issue has been following Danielle Smith around for the last few months, so don't expect it to be going away anytime soon. There's going to be focus on this as well as her overall fitness to be premier as we get closer and closer to that election, which is coming up in exactly 2 months from today.
All right, we got elections coming up. Elections are always exciting. Maybe we should find, like, a comrade from Alberta to talk to us about this upcoming election. So there's more here from Globe and Mail we can potentially explore. Once the ball is rolling, these Crown prosecutions seem to be very independent, and we can only ask 2 questions, as I mentioned, she said, casting doubt that the Justice Minister was driving this effort. But I've also raised it with the Deputy Minister and let him know my dissatisfaction with the tactics. So you can just leave this with me, and I will make that request one more time. I love how, like, she's like, I can only ask 2 questions, but I keep calling every week to ask them. It's like, okay. So Pulaski was a leader of the Independence Party of Alberta. A statement posted to the party's Twitter account said the preacher was focused on the narrow concerns of a minority of Albertans and not on Alberta sovereignty, so they cut ties. Pulaski has been a controversy figure in Calgary. His profile grew during the pandemic, as a lot of, white nationalists have during the pandemic. He led an anti-mask protest in Calgary that featured demonstrators holding tiki torches, which were associated with far-right white nationalist protests in Virginia several years later. Ms. Smith acknowledged in February that she had spoken with Mr. Pulaski, but has repeatedly denied doing anything improper. So basically he's using that exact same, like, Nazi imagery that we were getting out of Virginia in order to oppose wearing masks. That is the funny thing about white supremacist terrorists, is that they feel so comfortable being public figures that they're like, we don't even need to wear a mask or a hood, for that matter. Prior to CBC publishing a story on Wednesday about the Pulaski video, Ms. Smith released a statement. The premier said the CB story was part of its campaign of defamatory attacks against her and her staff. It's like, we've got 11 minutes of raw footage of Elite's conversation, and then it's like, I can't believe they're running this defamatory campaign against me. It's like, well, anyone will be, assumingly, I don't know like where to find the link personally, but anyone can get this 11-minute footage eventually. At no time have I spoken with anyone from Alberta Crown Prosecution, yada, yada, yada. NDP Justice, okay, we saw this. He said it is offside, inappropriate, and constitutes prima facie. What does this mean again? Is a Latin expression meaning at first sight or based on first impression. Okay. So yeah, like on its face is kind of an interpretation, I think. Interference in the justice system, said the Premier or her staff were contacting prosecutors. Mr. Sabir and Ms. Smith and Justice Minister Tyler Shandro are unfit to serve in their roles. And, you know, in case you were wondering, we are probably rooting against Danielle Smith. You know, like I haven't looked deep into the Alberta elections, but I'm going to assume here that the incumbent far right sympathizer in power is not someone who we're going to support on this channel. I know the NDP also in Alberta is also like quite conservative, so we might be supporting them from like a harm reduction point of view. But you know, they're like the most conservative province in Canada that even the NDP is also quite conservative. So I guess this is great because you know what it does? It puts the Alberta election on my radar. And it's an opportunity to learn more about Alberta politics, which are weird and often hilarious. Chad, how you feeling? It's similar to BC where there's not really a Liberal Party to the NDP. So the NDP is a centrist party. Yeah. I think the Saskatchewan is the same. True. I think Ontario might be the same as well. Like the way things are going. Are we not just like a liberal-less society? Which, hey, why even... That is essentially the NDP's whole strategy, though, I think. It's like, hey, we don't need liberals because we're the liberals. I'm pretty sure that is Jagmeet Singh's and the NDP federally. Like, that's kind of their long game, right? It's like, we could be the new liberals. Is PEI on your radar? No. But it could be if you send the link. Where did all this socialism go? It went the way of capitalist propaganda, unfortunately. Something about the liberals, they're just bad about being a provincial party. True. What is up with that? And yet they are very popular federally, right? I think there's something about Canadians too. Like they love being what's the word? They love like voting the opposite. What is the word I'm looking for? Like they love just like contradicting themselves. They're like, I'll vote for Justin Trudeau federally and I'll vote for Doug Ford provincially. Okay? Like you... I guess to be fair, they're totally different parties. It's really on the only the NDP that has formal links between provincial and federal parties. Yeah, that is true. But the thing is, like, you know that. I know that. The average Canadian doesn't actually know that, you know? So the fact that they would stray from their team colors is kind of interesting, right? Like, why? The Waffle? What is the Waffle? Socialist movement in the NDP in the late 60s and early 70s. Okay, cool. Oops, what happened? During the leadership convention, okay, this is the Waffle. History of the Waffle. Wikipedia, what are you doing with this menu over here? We don't need this menu. Okay. The Waffle was a radical wing of Canada's New Democratic Party in the late 1960s and early 1970s. It later transformed into an independent political party with little electoral success, or it permanently disbanded in the mid-1970s. It was generally a new left youth movement that espoused Canadian nationalism in solidarity with Quebec's sovereignty movement. I'm worried about this Canadian nationalism. Some sort of national socialist party. That doesn't sound good. The group formed in 1969. Its leaders were university professors Mel Watkins and James Laxer. It issued a manifesto for an independent socialist Canada. Okay, I need to get intel on what they look like, because I just want to judge them by their aesthetic. James Laxer was legit. I knew his son in high school. Okay, here's Mel Watkins. Yeah, but what did he look like as a youth? This guy. Okay, cool. Yeah, he looks not so great as an old dude, but he looked kind of cool as a young guy. James Laxer. All right, yeah, again, looking very socialisty here. Even he looks a little better as an old guy as well. The nose kept growing. It issued a manifesto for independent socialist Canada. Manifesto for an Independent Socialist Canada was a document drafted by a leftist faction of Canada's NDP known as the Waffle. When that group briefly left the NDP between 72 and 74, it became their party's main programmatic. Oh, not briefly left the NDP or led the NDP. The Manifesto for an Independent Socialist Canada was also known as the Waffle Manifesto. I feel like this branding is also very good. Like, at least, like, left, they got kicked out. That makes sense. It outlined the Waffle's deep resentment for the American empire and the organization's commitment to furthering the socialist cause in Canada within a template of a successful democracy. The manifesto also included the Waffle's movements feeling toward Quebec sovereignty. I feel like this is where they lose me, is with this Quebec sovereignty, but like why focus on Quebec sovereignty when you should be focusing on socialist democracy within Canada? You know, it's just like getting people to get on board with this first idea is a tough one, but then adding in this Quebec sovereignty is like a way to kind of like ensure that it could never take hold as a broader Canadian movement. Started their own party, but it went nowhere. Makes sense, yeah. Manifesto held contribute to a debate on American control of Canadian economy, and particularly the extent of U.S. ownership of Canadian businesses and resources, and the emergence in Canada of a branch plant economy. Okay, we're going down this Wikipedia rabbit hole. Branch plant economy. Negative consequences on the growth. This economy is primarily composed of branch plants, multi-plant firms. The Liberal government of Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau instituted attempts to assert domestic economic control, such as the creation of Petro-Canada, meant to assert Canadian control of the energy sector. Okay, so it's kind of like this branch plant. Is this like multinationalism? Right. As opposed to nationally owned. This is talking about like just owned by multiple corporations nationally. Meant to assert Canadian control of energy sector and foreign ownership, particularly American takeovers of Canadian companies. Talking about Quebec sovereignty and alienating everyone for no clear reason is a classic leftist tactic. Yeah, just stay on topic. God damn it. Like why would you choose to like incorporate such a controversial take on something that like at the end of the day, it's not going to help like your core message, which should be socialism, right? And then even just like including the word nationalism and socialism together in your manifesto is going to like raise a lot of eyebrows. It's like, why would you do that? These measures were introduced in part due to pressure by the NDP, particularly during the minority government that followed the 1972 election. Minority Liberal election. Okay. The NDP in turn had urged these measures in part due to pressure by the Waffle within the party. After 1974, when the Waffle's party movement for an independent socialist Canada disbanded, the Manifesto for an Independent Socialist Canada became a historical document. The name of the NDP Socialist Caucus Manifesto for a Socialist Canada is an echo of the earlier document influence. Okay, so there still is the NDP Socialist Caucus. I hate their branding. This is when you're like, hey, when I'm on Twitter and I'm like, hey, there's no real socialists in Canadian politics, and they're like, oh yeah, well look at this logo. Like, who do we got on the roster here? Yeah, totally toothless. I know. I know. Okay, so let's get back to the Waffle. The Waffle supported the nationalization of Canadian industries to take them out of the hands of American interests. Right, Okay, the group was endorsed by the New Democratic Youth. The Waffle Manifesto stated a socialist society must be one which there is a democratic control of all institutions, which have a major effect on men's lives, and where there is equal opportunity for creative, non-exploitative self-development. It is now time to go beyond the welfare state. Obviously, this was a time when I guess you could just put men's lives in there. The Waffle wasn't the perfect leftist movement, though to be fair, it was 50 years ago. Yes, but they were the dying gasp of real socialism in the NDP. Okay. According to the manifesto, the New Democratic Party must provide leadership in the struggle to extend working men's influence into every area of industrial decision-making by bringing men together primarily as buyers and sellers of each other, by enshrining profitability and material gain in place of humanity and spiritual growth. Capitalism has always been inherently alienating. I think there was a guy who wrote a book about that. Today, sheer size combined with modern technology.
Take it easy till I get back to normal.
Oh, hey, what's up, guy? Thanks for joining us. They weren't gender neutral. I mean, a lot of things weren't gender neutral. Today, sheer size combined with modern technology further exaggerates man's sense of insignificance and impotence. The socialist transformation of society will return to man his sense of humanity to replace his sense of being a commodity. But a socialist democracy implies man's control of his immediate environment as well. And in any strategy for building socialism, community democracy is as vital as the struggle for electoral success. Watch out. We got a doomer in chat. We don't subscribe to doomerism here though, Guy McPherson. You're welcome. But I'm not a doomer. River, don't worry. You don't need to worry about this. This is a historical movement from 1969 to 74. We don't obviously this would include women and, you know, people of different genders in a modern sense. So it's just by men in this day and age. When they say men, they mean like mankind, you know. It's like it's just a failure of language, not philosophy. Origins of the waffle name. This, I honestly am curious about that. Good, it's not current. Yeah, don't worry. If we were to, let's say, waffle once more, we could potentially not use this language, right? The name was meant ironically. I love irony. I feel like this is good modern branding. People love irony these days, you know? That's all we love, actually. One story quoted in historian Desmond Morton's book, The New Democrats, has the name originating during the drafting of the group's manifesto, when at one point Ed Broadbent, oh no. Who's Ed Broadbent again? Isn't this of like the Broadbent Institute? I thought they were conservative leaning. Canadian Social Democratic politician, political scientist, and chair of the Broadbent Institute, a policy think tank. He was the leader of the NDP from 75 to 89 and returned to Parliament for an additional term as the Member of Parliament for Ottawa Centre. Okay, I guess he's a lefty? Broadbent Institute. For some reason, I thought that they were like a conservative think tank. Progressive and social democratic think tank. Well, I'll be damned. It said if they had to choose between waffling to the left and waffling to the right, they waffle to the left. The Waffle Manifesto was the published headline of Jean Howarth's. It's like Andrea Horwath, except they switched the R around. Editorial piece in the Globe and Mail on September. Okay, let's take a look. The Waffle Manifesto, Globe and Mail. Are they going to link it? Okay. No, god damn it. Take us to the link. Take us to the... Okay. All right. I mean, I love Wikipedia. I'm not going to lie. But we don't got the link to the article, sadly. I like the name too. When Laxer and other members of the group read the headline, they adopted it. Honestly, this is really good branding, and it's unfortunate that they failed. Another possible origin for the name comes from a film clip excerpt from CBC documentary on the CBC, taken during a meeting of the group some months prior to the October 1969 NDP Winnipeg Convention. According to the film excerpt, the waffle term appears to have originated with Jim Laxer when he stated in terms of the proposed manifesto that if it doesn't talk about nationalization of key industries, it becomes a waffle document. The term waffle was picked up by subsequent speakers in the discussion. So, okay, waffle is bad, but they're basically saying they're using it ironically. Saying that, you know, as part of their manifesto, they need to nationalize key industries. The 1971 NDP leadership convention was a battleground between the party establishment and the Waffle. About 2,000 people out of the NDP's approximately 90,000 membership were members of the Waffle in 1971. The Waffle tried to get as many of their supporters into the party's governing bodies, but were rebuked by the large block of rank-and-file union voters at the convention. Carol Goodmanson of the Saskatoon-Saskatchewan Waffle, I love this. Waffle is such a fun word. Ran unsuccessfully for the party presidency. She was up against Ontario NDP leader Donald C. MacDonald. Oh my goodness. What is with Canadian politicians and these names? Donald MacDonald. And he lost in a three-way tie between Bradford and Kathleenson. Okay. University of Toronto professor Mel Watkins lost his vice president position but managed to get elected to the party's federal council. The campaign for leader of the NDP pitted David Lewis against James Laxer. Though the strong support of the labor unions, Lewis succeeded in defeating Laxer on the fourth ballot on April 24. Imagine having this, an election where like the main two people running in it are like somebody who's in strong support of labor unions and somebody who's in strong support of like nationalization of key Canadian industries. Imagine that. That would be mind-blowing in today's political climate. Laxer won approximately 37% of the final ballot vote and established that the Waffle had some strength in the party and were no longer a small fringe group. During the leadership convention, the Waffle was described in the press as a party within a party. This is honestly what the NDP needs, whether they call themselves the Waffles or not. There is a strong group within the NDP. I believe they're called New Demo Chat. I haven't really seen them be very active in recent days though. Retweeted their most recent tweet here, November 28th, 2022. December 6th, they're retweeting Jessa. I guess there is potential for a movement here, but it's not very active. I think what's really hard in this day and age is like to sustain pressure as a movement, especially a movement within a movement. You basically need like an entire media apparatus to keep these things sustained and relevant like day to day. You basically need like a My Homie Tutaro, like a one-person media monster machine who can create a bunch of content like every day about like the same subject. And for the right amount of money, I could be the one. For obviously socialist ideas, not conservative ideas. Independent Party, end of the road. Some members of the Waffle remain New Democrats, but Laxer and Watkins accepted Lewis's ultimatum and quit the NDP in 1972. They continued the Waffle under the name the Movement for an Independent Socialist Canada. You know what? They should have just taken out the word independent, but it was still commonly referred to as the Waffle. They should have just kept the Waffle, man. The group existed until the Canadian Federation election in 1974. Honestly, we should rebrand this and call ourselves the Pancakes, because everybody loves pancakes. Effect on the NDP youth movement. The dispute over the Waffle led to the disbanding of the Ontario NDP's youth wing in 1972, which was not revived until 88. Hey, that's when I was born. Maybe I'm the Jesus of the NDP youth movement, even though I'm 34. Federal NDP also disbanded the New Brunswick NDP for a period of late 1971 after a local Waffle group gained control. Many of its leaders eventually came back into the party and held important positions within it, which also shaped many of the NDP's policies in the 1980s through the early 21st century. All right. Okay. Thanks for entertaining us as we go down this rabbit hole. Something I want to do more of, going down rabbit holes and learning about Canadian history on stream. I'm really trying to think of stream as a place where we do a bunch of different things. In addition to me making segments for YouTube, I want to fill this time with like education and learning about how to build a stronger socialist movement. I think that's a really great idea. So, thank you for being along for the journey, y'all. Stream, like there are different parts of stream, right? There's just chilling. There's just waking up in the morning and learning and just like being in community with each other. There's making content for YouTube and content in general, because that is potentially a way to reach a broader amount of people, right? Like some of my content is even geared towards conservatives, in the sense that I think I can like just be a reasonable voice. And people will be like, oh, okay, maybe I'll check it out. And then you get hit with like some more content that like pulls you leftwards, right? And then other parts should just be like watching stuff, obviously, and like educating ourselves. You know, it's it'd be sweet if we could just have like a syllabus to like actively learn about things. I wish that, imagine there was like a video syllabus. Like we could just like essentially take a course about Canadian history, just do a little bit every day. That'd be sick. All right, y'all. I gotta go. It's 11:30. I really enjoyed today's stream. It was fun. And I really appreciate you all. Thank you for the new followers and the subscribers. I really appreciate Pixels for subscribing, because they are a young person from Thailand who saved up money to subscribe. And we can thank them as well for having our new chat badges, because they requested that specifically, and I'm happy with how they turned out. Yeah, Pixels is so sweet. That's like my feel-good story of the day. Like my wife is gonna come home and be like, "How was your day?" I'm like, "Oh, it was so cute." It was so cute. Like Pixels subscribed, so they saved up money from trading secondhand Nintendo consoles. So that they could subscribe to the channel, which is like adorable. It's like literally the most adorable thing that could happen to our stream. I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for keeping me entertained, because that helps me hopefully entertain you as well. It's the cutest thing to happen today, for real. It's like the cutest thing to happen to stream ever. Let's see who is streaming. RJ Helms, I followed you on Twitch. When's your next stream? I want to learn more about whatever MIDI packs you're opening. Let's see who we got. Among other stuff. Who's that again? Oh, right. That's the young woman who just chill stream. Probably not something I'm ever going to do on a schedule. Fair. Sloot. Who is Sloot? Didn't someone say that they were using Sloot emojis? They're playing Resident Evil 4, which is a dope ass game, and they just released a remake for it. Are they cool? Does anybody know this person, Sloot?
So we just go through here. It's the only next place to go. I like the map in this game.
Why do I follow them even? I don't remember.
Loot and stuff. Right, we basically deemed that this rifle on harder difficulties was basically useless.
Well, let's just raid them for fun. Why not? Let's make some new friends. Raid. Well, say hi to me, to salute for me, to salute. You know, be a great ambassador for the homiehood. And I will see you tomorrow morning, where we have lots of content to make, because it's Friday. Gotta make lots for the weekend, so I can take time off. Okay, bye. See you tomorrow.
Back. I was on 2 hours of sleep yesterday. Well, my sleep is not